Hey everyone. So I wanted to pop on really quick because I have gotten no less than a dozen messages throughout the day of people who are really wanting to like jump on a cleanse. And probably because I've been talking about it, throughout the week, like, oh, I'm starting the cleanse. And I say for throughout the week, that's actually not even true. I don't even think I announced it till what, Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. And I announced, and I said, hey, I'm doing this cleanse. I'm going to start Saturday. And so it hasn't even been that long that I've been talking about it, but I have been talking about it. And so anyone who is, feeling like, oh, hearing that and saying, oh, well, I was already thinking about doing a cleanse or I was thinking about doing a detox, you're going to have different motivations, physical motivations or emotional motivations. You want to lose weight, you want to heal something. And so everybody's going to have a reason. And so here that I come in and I say, hey, I'm going to do this juice with me. Like if you already want to juice with me, because it's amazing and fun to have people to do it with. But I want to have a chat right now because a lot of people that I've been hearing from, they're struggling. Like, oh, I don't know. I came up to the day, I was all committed. I get people that are like, I'm on it, I'm so excited. And then this morning came and they woke up and there was resistance, or they weren't prepared, or they just weren't really sure if they could do it, or if this was for them, or if cleansing even was for them, or juicing, they don't know if they can do it. And so I want to kind of talk about that for just a minute. First of all, understand that it takes time to work up to doing long cleanses. And so for a lot of people, 21 days can really feel overwhelming and daunting. And it is. There are people that jump on their very first cleanse, they do 21 days, they rock it out, it's no problem. But then there are people like me in the beginning, I wasn't even able to make it a full day. I had to work my way up to the longer cleanses. And even now, sometimes, I struggle because I think I had gone like a year, almost 2 years without doing a cleanse. And so jumping back into them has been rougher than it was when you lead off. And so you have to understand, if it's not something you're doing all the time, it is more difficult. But even sometimes for people that do it, it's tough too. But you have choices and you need to make it work for you. Most of the time, people do a ramp up week. Most of the time, I do a ramp up week. When I lead groups and when I mentor my clients, I 100% always give at least 1 week for ramping up. And let me tell you what ramping up means. Sometimes I give 2 weeks, depending on how toxic or how much mindset work my client might need to do. But a ramp up week is a week where you set certain parameters. One I love to set is, okay, so we're going to start, a cleanse, let's say in a week or 2 weeks or whenever it is, we're going to start a cleanse. But to ramp up, what we're going to do is every single day, we're going to drink 2 quarts of juice or 3 quarts of juice or whatever else, whatever number you want to put on that. But it's usually a good bit, like a 2 or 3 quarts per day. And other than that, sometimes people say, well, I'm going to drink 2 or 3 quarts of juice, but you're still eating. You can eat either whatever you want. You can eat raw foods. You can eat cooked whole foods. I have people that run the gamut of what feels safe for them. But usually most people do a ramp up week. Now, I personally like to do liquid ramp up weeks. So if I'm starting to juice, I like to juice for a week, but I also would do like smoothies with a lot of fiber in them. So I'll have the smoothies, I'll have the juices, and so I do a ramp up week personally. I didn't do it this time, but most of the time when I do that, I set myself up for success. I go ahead and I do a ramp up week. And so if you haven't done that, sometimes that could be why you're struggling. The other thing is that you could make the cleanse modified. You don't have to do 100% juice. There's so many different ways you can do this. Again, you could go to the example I just gave you. Every single day, you drink 3 quarts of juice, and anytime during the day. And other than that, you can eat what you want. Or every single day, you drink all juice, only juice up until 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock or up until dinner, that you're drinking juice vibrant all day, I guarantee your taste buds will change, your body will change, your cravings will change, you will have changes. If you drink juice every day up until dinner, or if you eat lunch and you drink juice for breakfast and juice after lunch, and you don't eat any other foods, you will lose weight, you will detox. I mean, like I said, you will have so many benefits. You will heal, and it may be slower, but it will be done over time. You can do raw foods. You can do juice and raw foods. You can do juice and fruits. You can do juice and salads. You can make the detox whatever you want. And so if there's resistance, if you in your heart know that either spiritually you're called to a detox, or that physically you need it to heal something, that is an infirmity that's setting in, or an illness that's setting in, or something that's causing you pain, or, if you need to lose weight, or if your mind is just so foggy and your emotions are up and down like a roller coaster and you're like, I need a detox, I need a cleanse. There's a lot of ways to go about it way before jumping on a 21-day juice cleanse. Now, I'm not talking anybody out of it. If you know that this is what you want to do, that you want to do a cleanse, you by all means fight through it. It is a warrior's journey. It's a hero's journey. You can't do anything better for yourself. It's amazing. It's awesome. And I encourage you to work through these things. Do what it takes, though, to make it work for you. You can mix it up. You can do, master cleanse. You can juice some days. You could do every other day. You could do however you want, because sometimes it's mindset. Sometimes we'll have resistance to doing it and we don't even know why. Sometimes we're talking to ourselves about cravings. We're like, oh, I don't think I can do this. All the cravings are I'm not going to be hungry. And you're not even having cravings, and you're not even hungry. You're anticipating, the discomfort from the time that you might have cravings, or the time that you might feel discomfort. And so you're already projecting yourself there, and you're not being right in the moment and going, oh, I'm right here in the moment. I actually can handle the cravings I'm having right now. I actually can handle the things that are going through my body, and I'm totally fine in this very moment. But in our mind, we can project forward, and you can borrow suffering, and you can borrow anxiety, and you can borrow hunger and pain and all kind of stuff. And so I just want to encourage you, for the people that have contacted me and said, I'm really struggling. I wanted to start, or I didn't. I wasn't able to, or I just had a message from a lady. She said, I've been trying to talk myself into doing this. And again, there's two sides. There's one side of, oh yes, this is something you're absolutely called to do just this way. You're called to just slam into it right now, 21 days. But you could also say, well, I feel like I need a ramp up week. I feel like I need to do a modified cleanse. And you don't have to give into yourself experientially like you've experienced in the past, of disappointment in yourself, of failing, of you not meeting a goal. You can just go ahead and go, no, I'm going forward with this. I'm doing what it takes to set myself up for success. I tell people all the time, you don't make the decision to run a marathon and then just go out and run a marathon. You have to train, and that very first day is horrible. I mean, you're dying. You're doing this run walk thing. You're not making it very far. You're even wondering if you can do it. But every single day gets better and better. And every time you try, you have shin splints and your side hurts, and you can't get your breathing regulated, and your gait's all off, and so there's all kind of things to work through. Fasting is no different. So I want to encourage the ones that still are committed to this is what you want to do. But if you're struggling, I just want to say there are options. Nobody is putting any pressure on you except yourself. That even if you're very, very sick, and the number one thing that you need to do is do a cleanse, you can still do a ramp up week. You can still do a modified cleanse. You're still going to get blessings from that. And so I just want to encourage you to give yourself grace and to realize there are options.